Good afternoon. My name is Raphael Chambati.
My name is Bhaven, Morar.
This afternoon, we will be delivering a presentation on decision analysis and the various aspects associated with it.
So what is decision analysis?
Decision analysis seeks to help decision makers in making better decisions in situations of uncertainty and situations that are deemed to be complex. The quality of the decisions is measured by their expected consequences and the stated preferences of the decision maker or decision makers. Decision analysis refers to the broad quantitative field overlapping operations research and statistics that deals with modeling, optimizing, and analyzing decisions made by individuals, groups, and organizations. Render et al. States that decision analysis is an analytic and systematic approach to the study of decision making. Furthermore, according to Render et al., decision analysis covers a different number of aspects. These aspects being the 6 steps in decision making, the different types of decision making environments, making decisions under uncertainty, decision making under risk, and decision trees.
Types of decisions. It is possible to classify the decisions made by businesses in different ways. They are program decisions. A set routine for making the decisions would have been established. These are repetitive decisions. Non-program decisions. Non-program decisions are novel or unstructured decisions. Strategic decisions concern the general direction and overall policy of a business. They are far-reaching and can influence the performance of an organization. They will also be long-term decisions, which means that they will affect the business for a period longer than a year. Tactical decisions refer to medium-term decisions, which produce change more rapidly than strategic decisions. Important tactical decisions, such as the promotion campaign for a new product, tend to be made by those near the top of the business hierarchy. Less important tactical decisions will often be made by middle or junior managers.
How decisions are implemented. This is a diagrammatic illustration of how decision analysis is used within businesses and industries. Firstly, you would identify the problem. You would then move into the framing and structuring stage. This is where you identify what the actual problem is and put it in a manner that is easy to tackle. From there, you move to the evaluating modeling stage. This is where you analyze and see what methods you have available to you to deal with this problem. From there, you would move to the assessing and deciding stage, whereby you would pick a method and assess whether it is the correct method to use. Once that has been established, you implement it. That is the action stage, and that is what, in simple terms, the diagram is trying to convey. Now, taking a look at industries that use decision analysis. Globally, there are a variety of industries that are responsible for both the good and the bad that happens in the world. This good and bad is determined by the various decisions that are made within these industries. According to The Guardian, decision analysis plays a large role in a number of industries. Taking a look at the United Kingdom, there are a different number of industries, but the main ones that are seen to use decision analysis are banking and finance, tourism, steel, transportation equipment, oil, and gas. Taking a look at oil and gas, according to an article from Decision Frameworks, the choice between making a good decision and a bad one is that it can be the difference between success and a catastrophe, profit and loss, or even life and death. Decision analysis software can help decision makers identify factors that influence the decision at hand and choose a path to desirable outcomes. Oil companies spend 12 to 8 months in the decision cycle, obtaining information, analyzing data, and assessing the risk and uncertainty before selecting a production system. Decision analysis is used quite extensively within the oil and gas company, and they use different methods under decision analysis. A good example of this would be the use of decision trees. Staying with the oil and gas industry, this next slide shows the problems that can arise within the industry, but at the same time it shows why decision analysis is important, because it helps to solve and alleviate these problems.
This next slide talks about one of the aspects of decision analysis: decision trees. So what are decision trees? A decision tree is a diagram showing the options that are available when taking a decision and the possible outcomes of these options. Economic outcomes and probabilities can be added to these diagrams to allow the highest expected value to be calculated. They are an objective way of assisting management with decision making. Decision tree diagrams are also known as the probability tree diagrams, as they show the probability of success and failure for each outcome. It is constructed from left to right. Each branch of the tree represents an option together with a range of consequences or outcomes and the chances of these occurring. Decision points are denoted by a square. These are called decision nodes. A circle represents the range of outcomes that may occur. Probabilities are shown alongside each of these possible outcomes, and these probabilities are in numerical values. Let's look at an example. A company goes to a bank manager for a loan to finance the expansion of a company. The bank manager is uncertain whether to grant the loan or not. There is a probability of 0.7 that the expansion plan will be successful. If the manager does not grant the loan, there is a probability of 0.6 that the company will transfer its account to another bank. Represent the situation on a decision tree diagram. The next slide depicts a decision tree diagram. Now, as we can see, decision points are denoted by a square. These are known as the decision nodes. A circle shows that the range of outcomes may occur. So the outcomes are whether the bank manager should grant the loan or he should not grant the loan. As we can see, if the bank manager grants the loan, referring back to the case study, we could see that there is a 0.7% chance that the expansion may be successful. Now, the probability of each outcome should be equal to 1. Therefore, if the probability of expansion is 0.7, the probability of failure must be equal to 0.3. Now, let's look at whether the bank manager may not grant the loan. Referring back to the case study, there is a 0.6 chance that the company will transfer its account to another bank. Now, if there's a 0.6 chance that business may move its account, it means that there is a 0.4 chance or probability of the business continue its banking with that selected bank. This clearly conveys the example.
Having discussed decision analysis in great detail, this next slide serves to show a real-life case study about how decision analysis was applied. Individuals and companies have often used decision-making techniques to help them invest or allocate funds to various projects. In some cases, decision-making techniques can be used to determine how millions of dollars are to be spent. This same type of analysis can also be used on a larger scale for countries or governments. This was the case within the allocation of healthcare funds for the United Kingdom. Over the years, the United States has debated the possible implementation of a comprehensive national healthcare program. Although this does not seem likely for the United States in the near future, other countries such as the United Kingdom, have been using some form of national healthcare system for decades. For the UK, the question is not whether to have a national healthcare system, but how funds for such a system are to be allocated. The United Kingdom's National Health Service is funded through general tax revenues. The funds are dispersed to about 105 different local health authorities. The annual funding for the NHS is approximately $35 billion. With such a large sum of national funds going to such an important area, the decision-making process to justly allocate funds can be difficult indeed. In the 1970s, a mortality ratio formula was introduced in an attempt to allocate funds, but unfortunately this method did not appear to work. The UK needed to seek a better way to allocate healthcare dollars to local authorities. In order to do this, a team from New York University spent about 4 months developing the original allocation model and another 14 months refining the decision-making model. Using decision analysis, the team identified a set of key variables to explain healthcare needs and usage in the United Kingdom. This resulted in modifications to the decision-making process regarding healthcare funds.
And this concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.